tons of talking, top rope walking, ultimate Xing, serious flexing, never be vague with your boy Craig, and opinion mixing from Pete to Nixon. Keep doing things in an impactful way. Bloody nonsense, as the Brits say. Talking bloody nonsense.
Yes, it's me. It's the MIC Craig, aka Mr. Impact, joined by the one and only Peter Nixon. This is Talking Bloody Nonsense, right here on the TNA IW channel. It's a new week, it's a new Impact, but first things first. Nixon, how's it going?
I'm all right, Craig. I think it's been kind of a slow news week in terms of Impact, but there's been so much going on, obviously, with WWE, with Vince and Triple H. I was really wondered before you messaged today, what are we going to talk about today? But then we got chatting, and there's actually quite a lot to talk about, and I think it's going to be a really jam-packed episode.
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure of social media break, because you need to take one now and then.
Oh yes,
I had no clue what's going on with wrestling until today. Feel like I've been completely cut off. I mean, I had a completely separate from social media, so seeing what's going on today and what's been going on, wrestling's in a bit of a interesting state. And if this was a full wrestling podcast, we could be talking all day. But it's Impact, and I guess without any further ado, we should talk some Impact Wrestling, or almost some Impact Wrestling at least. Former Ring of Honor World Champion Jonathan Gresham has requested his release from AEW/Ring of Honor after losing the Ring of Honor World Championship to Claudio from Cesaro. Reportedly been cursing out Tony Khan. It's left a lot of people wondering whether or not this means if Gresham is to sign somewhere more on a permanent basis, would it be Impact? Obviously, he's got the affiliation there. He had some great matches there. Obviously, his wife is there. So what's your feelings on this? Gresham, his release hasn't been confirmed as far as I'm aware, but it seems to be the way it's heading. What's your take on all of this? It seems to be an interesting topic, given that Jonathan Gresham seemed an ROH lifer. But what's your take on it?
Well, yeah, I thought it was an ROH lifer, but it's not ROH as we know it anymore. It's AEW presents Ring of Honor. So it didn't surprise me at all that they put the belt straight on Claudio, because he has that backstory with Ring of Honor, was never the world champion, has never been a world champion in any organization. So I think it made sense to put the belt on Claudio. But Gresham obviously had issues. Well, I mean, we don't know. We don't know what his issues were, whether it was with booking, whether it was with the presentation of himself and or Ring of Honor. I'm sure he might not, but I would imagine he'll get into it on interviews once his release has been confirmed, which I'm sure it will be. Tony Khan's not going to keep anyone around who doesn't want to be there. So, yeah, none of this really surprises me. But, yeah, in terms of what he'll do next, I know he said, or he's given indications that he's done with wrestling for a little while, which, fair play to him. I think he's been at it a long time, and if he wants to take some time off, fair play. Once he's ready to come back, then Impact seems like the perfect place for him to come. Whether he'll sign exclusively or if he'll be a free agent and still, because he'll still be able to do his Terminus shows, and he can do bits and pieces elsewhere. But Impact just seems like the perfect place for him to come back to, because he was always presented correctly. The TNA, Impact Wrestling presentation of Gresham was very loyal to the Ring of Honor presentation of Jonathan Gresham. So, I think at some point we'll see him back in Impact.
Yeah, I have to agree on that. You know, Gresham, you know, came to Impact when no one was really sure what was going on with ROH. Did a great job of keeping ROH alive. A great job of being the Ring of Honor World Champion. And to see what's going on over in AEW, again, we don't know what exactly it is. Clearly, Gresham isn't happy with something. And you mentioned that Tony Khan doesn't want to keep anyone around. He doesn't want to be there. It's Brian Cage. He wanted to leave, and Khan basically extended his contract when he knew Cage wanted to leave. I get it's a different situation, but and I think I can think of another example, but I forgot off the top of my head who. But if I didn't know about that, Gresham said he's taking a break from wrestling or whatever it is, which it's fair enough. They say he's done a fantastic job of being Ring of Honor World Champion. Was Progress World Champion for a bit, and has absolutely smashed it. Has had banger after banger after banger for years, not just as World Champion, as pure champion, as tag team champion. Jonathan Gresham has been phenomenal. And yes, a part of me hopes Impact snap him up because he will be such a great fit. And with Impact, obviously Gresham can continue doing his Terminus stuff. He can continue doing stuff in the independent scene. He can continue doing whatever he wants to do. So yes, that's perfect. Whether he goes straight to the world title picture, which he's more than proven he can and will have fantastic matches, or we could go straight to the X division and kill it there. Gresham has been phenomenal, but it's interesting to see. Interesting to find out what exactly is going on with him and Tony Khan. Obviously, we don't want to speculate because we don't know, but the fact he's cussing him out, that doesn't seem like a good thing. And
here's the thing: Tony Khan has a lot going on. He's obviously booking AEW and Ring of Honor. Well, Ring of Honor, they've had 2 shows so far under Tony Khan, but he's also in charge of Fulham and the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's got a lot on his plate. If Ring of Honor is going to be a separate product going forward, he needs to put someone else in charge of creative.
Yeah.
Or at least hand down some of the reins, because he's going to be burned out. I know cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
It can only do so much for you.
Right. Tony has got a lot to do, and running 2 wrestling companies on top of that. It's not everyone's going to be happy. A lot of people have said they're not happy, and have since obviously gone their separate ways from AEW. But I don't know. It's an interesting situation we find ourselves in. Wrestling is in a crazy place right now. There's so much going on with it. But when it comes to talent like Jonathan Gresham, they'll be absolutely fine.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind Gresham won't land on his feet and smash it wherever he goes. 6 months ago, I would have said there's no way Gresham goes to WWE. Now, who knows?
Exactly. It's exciting times, right?
Yeah. This isn't a WWE podcast, but Triple H is in charge. This is a big thing for wrestling. Triple H is in charge of the biggest promotion in the world, and someone who books wrestlers, who believes in pro wrestlers. I'm excited for it, and Gresham will be more than fine. Hopefully, do give give him his release, because you don't keep anyone on who doesn't want to be there, because you're wasting your money and wasting their time.
Exactly.
So, but let's see how it goes, and I'm super excited for this one. Now, kind of sticking with the ROH AEW side of things, but going on to former Impact World Tag Team Champions, the Briscoes. Again, 6 months ago, we were saying there's no way in hell the AEW will ever sign the Briscoe brothers. They are. The Briscoe brothers are All Elite. They are Ring of Honor. They are signed to Ring of Honor under the AEW banner. It's so confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But the Briscoes are contracted to Tony Khan there, which some never thought was going to happen. And it's kind of unfortunate, because every Impact fan wanted them back. And whilst there's still that small chance of that door being opened, I don't see it, not for quite some time. But yeah, the Briscoes are signed. It was announced after the RX pay-per-view that they are officially All Elite, if you like. What's your feelings on that? Because it's a interesting one.
Honestly, I'm gutted.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this in lack of support of Ring of Honor, because it's a great signing for them, and it makes sense. Much like Gresham, the Briscoes breed Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
So cool, good for them. I hope Ring of Honor does indeed get some sort of weekly TV deal, so they are showcased.
Yeah.
But yeah, selfishly, as an Impact diehard, I'm gutted that we didn't get them for longer. At least they got a run with the tag titles, which was cool. They had some good matches with Violent by Design, good matches with the Good Brothers, no pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there was so much more that the Briscoes could have done in Impact, especially right now. I don't know if you saw Final Battle last year, which is the final proper Ring of Honor pay-per-view. The Briscoes and OGK stole the show. Fantastic match. And you've got the Motor City Machine Guns. You've got other combinations of Honor No More.
Yeah.
You've got Decay. You've got Heath and Rhino, who Briscoes did in fact wrestle and had a good match with.
Match.
Yeah, there's so much more the Briscoes could have done in Impact, and I'm gutted. Selfishly, I'm gutted that we're probably not going to see that now.
I know. I'm the same. When I saw it, I thought, cool for them, because, I'm not saying Impact doesn't here, but AW, ROH, Tony Khan, they've got the money. And the Briscoes can get a lot out of that. And especially, a new addition to the family. They're obviously going to need that money. So, fair play to them. Get that contract. I assume it's a decent sized contract. When you're the Briscoes and you've been in ROH as long as they have, it kind of has to be a decent sized contract.
If you're one of the top 3 tag teams in the world, then you can command a good wage, and I hope they are getting paid fairly by Tony Khan.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gutted too. I really wanted to see more of them in Impact. I knew of them, but I hadn't seen any of their matches before Multiverse of Matches. Also, I knew who they were. Their reputation preceded them in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
But what a tag team they were! And in that short amount of time, they had a fairly memorable run as tag team champions. One of my favorite matches of theirs wasn't actually for the tag team titles. It was their match with Josh Alexander against the Good Brother. Was it? No, probably would have been BBD. Was it? I can't remember. It was a 6-man tag. I think the Good Brothers were involved in it, but that was one of my favorite matches of theirs, because it's just a great match. But yeah, it's a bit of a crap one because Impact have lost out on another tag team, which I said it when they were coming to Impact. This automatically lifted the Impact tag team division. I'm not to say that it's dropped massively, but it has taken a bit off it because we know they're not coming back, and they won't get their rematch. So, bit of a crap one, but hey, as long as they smash it in ROH which they're gonna,
of course,
it's a given. They will because they're a great tag team. Speaking of tag teams, this time we are going back to Impact with the former X Division champion in Trey Miguel, making it clear this week via social media that from now on he wants to be booked as a tag team with former Rascalz and former NXT tag team champion Zachary Wentz. The Rascalz reunion, I think we've already seen it on Revolver, or it's coming on Revolver. But Trey and Wentz won't be booked as a tag team going forward. What's the take on that one? Because could we see Wentz back in Impact? Obviously, that whole mess of him being released. Could Impact bring him back? Should Impact bring him back? What's your feelings on it?
So this took me massively by surprise when I read this today, that Trey tweeted that he wants to be booked as a tag team going forward with the Rascalz. I think it's a little bit of a shame because he was having a great run as a singles wrestler, and Spider Trey was over, and he had, I reckon, the second best match of the year in Impact Wrestling so far against Speedball at what was the last pay-per-view? Against All Odds.
Yes.
There's so much going on, it's hard to keep track. It's such a good match with Speedball against All Odds. But we haven't seen him in a tag team setting since Dez and Wentz were in Impact. In as a 6-man trio. So I would have thought this is all leading to Zachary Wentz coming back to Impact.
Yeah.
Which I don't have a problem with. I mean, Kimberly isn't there anymore. I know it's a messy situation. Who knows what really happened? We'll never know, I guess. And the whole the controversy with that anti-Semitic picture being tweeted out, which lost Wentz his job with NXT. It was such a long time ago, and he's apologized for it, but I think he does need to own it by coming on. I think we talked about this last week, didn't we? About maybe he should come and explain. Look, I've seen the error of my ways. This was a long time ago. I still regret it to this day. I know it's not funny, and I've pledged some money to a charity or for Auschwitz upkeep or Holocaust survivors, things like that.
Yeah, I mean that thing. Stupid should never have done it. It's never been a thing. But he was 18, 19 apparently, which it's still no excuse, but he's still learning what it is to be a human being. It was a stupid thing that it should never have done. But people should be allowed to make mistakes. Yes, obviously that is a disgusting thing to even think of to do in this day and age. At any time. But maybe let people make mistakes. Yeah.
With a famous celebrity, celebrity is the wrong term. A member of the royal family. You might remember this, Craig.
Yes.
For people in America that are watching that, obviously, this wouldn't have been in their news, or probably not. But considering he's an American citizen now, I guess.
Yeah.
Prince Harry, when he was 18, 19 years old, went to a party dressed as a Nazi soldier.
Yeah.
And the joke was that the Windsors are descended from, they have German ancestry.
Mm.
So, Nazi Harry, ha. Of course, the picture was front page news on newspapers the very next day.
All of them.
It was the dumbest thing he could have done ever. But was he cancelled for it?
Nope.
It's totally
celebrated, if anything. He's been celebrated now.
It was totally
speaking out against his parents, against his family, but that was a mistake he made. Didn't own it. He didn't own it.
So yeah, people, as you said, people are allowed to make mistakes as long as they own it. So I have no problem with Zachary Wentz bringing it back round. I have no problem with Zachary Wentz coming back to Impact. And if it's in a tag team circumstance with Trey, awesome. Give him a run. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. I think there's much more to say on that. I've always been a fan of the Rascalz. Wentz kind of went under the radar for a lot of people in Impact as part of the Rascalz. Saw his dares as the high flyer spot guy, and Wentz was just there to give him a hand. And then Trey, is going after the world title. Trey was going after the X Division title. Wentz got him that spot in the Slammiversary main event. So I'm for Wentz coming back. I understand it'll be controversial to some people, but it was years ago. Stupid. Made a mistake. He knows it, and just let things move on. That also, we don't know the situation of why the picture got leaked, but it's it was a couple going for a divorce. It could be all a matter of reasons why that happened. I'm sure a lot of things that happened during that time, they will pretty much regret. So it's just moving on from a mistake. And I think MSK was so over. I was a huge fan of MSK. And I think if Triple H was still in charge of NXT, that wouldn't have happened. I don't think it would have been released on that. I know people kind of forced him to men do it, but I don't know. It's a whole fucking mess of a situation. The point is, if you can put that aside, a mistake they made as a kid, essentially, and look at how much of a talent they are right now, separate the wrestling from the person. You've got one hell of a talent in Wentz and a great tag team in the Rascalz.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Trey and Wentz as the Rascalz is for me. I'm not necessarily a fan of Myron Reed. I don't really get him, but then Wentz, Rascalz, let's go.
Myron Reed, he's a good hand. He's got a lot of charisma. Not really that bothered if he pops up at Impact. For me, he's an MLW guy, and I think that's where he has done his best work, and that's where he, I don't want to say belongs, that sounds condescending, but I think that's the best place for him right now.
Yeah, I I agree on that. But Trey, Wentz, Rascalz, let's go. And hopefully Wesley, Dez continues to smash it in NXT. Hopefully.
Yeah, good for him. I hope he does well in NXT.
Yeah. It's all wrestling's just wrestling. Wrestling should be fun. Wrestling's cool. Let's enjoy wrestling. So now we're going to move on. And this time we are properly on Impact Wrestling. Last week on Impact, Alex Shelley defeated Chris Sabin in, honestly, my match of the year. I'm calling it right now. That match, I was thinking about that match all week. What a fucking match. That's a wrestling match right there. That's it. If you look at the definition of wrestling, there should be a picture of that match. I loved it so much. But Alex Shelley became the number one contender to the Impact World Championships, which he'll get his opportunity at Emergence against Josh Alexander. Shelley's first massive, big opportunity at a World Championship in Impact, and I believe I'm guessing he must have opportunities in ROH or elsewhere, but this is the big one. The Impact World Championship against Josh Alexander. Yeah, it's not Bound for Glory, which I wouldn't even mind if it was a Bound for Glory, because there's time to build this one. But Alex Shelley's getting an opportunity at the World Championship. As you say, Sabin already had his opportunity. Now it's Shelley's turn. Do you necessarily believe he can win it? Obviously, he can. But is that what's going to happen? And how do you see this one going for Shelley? Do you think Impact are going to make it a big deal and build it up as a massive deal, like as it should be for Shelley, to help sell this show? Not that it needs help selling, because I believe there's only 52 floor seats left for Emergence as we speak.
52 seats left for Emergence at Cicero Stadium.
Yes.
It's a big venue.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting to me. I don't know if you've seen Cicero Stadium before. MLW have done shows there, and it's a great venue. So that is very exciting that tickets are nearly sold out. And I think it's the perfect main event for Emergence. And as far as, making this match a big deal, Impact is smart. They know Alex Shelley has been in the company, in and out, since 2003, 2004 maybe?
About 2004, yeah.
When he was Baby Bear Shelley with Goldilocks. They need to go back and get the old footage of Shelley, just show his progression through the years, the way he's changed his look, his wrestling style, and make a big deal of the fact that he's been here for 18 years and this is his first world title match.
Yeah.
You can have Shelley cut promos on that fact and make it a big deal to Shelley. And then Josh can respond by saying, yeah, absolutely, it's a big deal for Alex Shelley. But it's a big deal for me too. I'm the world champion. I'm about to go on this legendary run as world champion. Nothing's going to derail me. And I think you've got like I said, a hell of a main event in terms of build-up. In terms of the match, it could be another match of the year candidate as far as I'm concerned, because very contrasting styles. And styles make fights, as they say.
Yeah. It's Shelley and Josh is going to just kill. Also, you've kind of caught glimpses of it in tag team matches. And, the North and Machine Guns for tag titles, just after Bound for Glory, great stuff. incredible. And now we're going to get to see Josh Alexander and Alex Shelley in singles matches. And when, when the North were at their peak, people saw Ethan Page as the guy to break out from that tag team. And I mean, I'm not really sure how it went with Machine Guns when they broke up. I'm assuming that people saw Shelley as the guy, but obviously Sabin was the first one to win the world title, and should have been a lot longer. But I digress. So yeah, Sabin and Shelley and Josh is going to kill. And by the way, Emergence is going to be 2 nights.
Okay.
They're making it 2 nights. So I don't know if they're going to be live. It'd be quite a lot to do 2 nights in a row live. I don't know how that one's going to work out, unless it's 2 weeks. Unless they do it over 2 weeks, make it but I don't know. Emergence typically has been TV.
Like we spoke about a couple of weeks ago with the themed shows and making it not like a big deal. I would have thought they'll do 1 night live, and then the next night of Emergence will be taped for TV, and that will be the next week's Impact. Will be Emergence Part 2.
Yeah, I can see that. I suppose it's been an interesting one because, like I said, I know Emergence was supposed to happen. I believe Emergence Rebellion was the first COVID show for Impact, but Emergence had that Iron Man match between Deonna Purrazzo and Jordan Grace, where Deonna won the title. So it's going to be great. I mean,
was the last Emergence the one with Christian wrestled Brian Myers? Or am I thinking of
yes. No, I think it was Emergence. Yeah. I think Christian versus Myers was Emergence. Wow. I know it's in Emergence. It's already lined up to be great. You've got Decay versus Vexed, which I thought was VXT, but it's Vexed. You've got Mae Young, Jordan Grace, Bandido versus
Ray Horus.
Yes.
Oh my god! I hope Bandido is sticking around. I need Bandido versus Speedball Part 2.
Yeah.
Poor boy. That match they had at WrestleCon this year. Bloody hell.
I didn't see it. It was a lot of wrestling this weekend, but obviously I know it got they got the bonus for the WrestleCon bonus for it. They got the bonus for it, and people were throwing money in the ring for it. So
that's your homework for this week, Craig. Seek out that match.
Will do. But yeah, but as far as Sabin and Josh goes, Shelley and Josh, I cannot wait for it. You said last week, pick someone out of those two to main event Emergence for Josh, and you've got at least a match of the night, at least. And this isn't going to be any different. They are going to tear it down. And I'm a big fan of the wrestling. And this match is going to have that. Josh and Shelley, they're going to take it to the mat and they're going to wrestle. And I'm so excited to watch it. Can't tell you how excited I am to watch this one. So just the fact that this is Shelley's first major world championship opportunity, they have to make it a big deal. They absolutely have to make this a big deal. And I can't wait to see it because it's gonna slap hard. And honestly, I'm down for it. How do you see the build-up going? Obviously, we got the save from Kushida at the end of last week's Impact. How do you see them building this one up? Do you think Kushida's going to play a part, or was that just to pop and introduce Kushida before he faces Rich Swann this week? How do you see it going?
I think both. I think it's a good way of introducing Kushida. And you've got a potential match down the line between Kushida and Josh. Kushida obviously has the link with Shelley more so, but also Sabin. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Kushida and how long he sticks around. But yeah, I reckon at some point we'll see Kushida and Josh one-on-one. Maybe for the title, maybe not.
I mean, I'll be down for either way, but I don't know. I think I can see it happening too. Kushida playing some part in it, and I'm absolutely down for it because Impact's on fire right now. It really is. You know, every champion is one of the best champions right now. Speaking of Matt Bailey, I know a lot of people said it was too soon for him to become Mexican champion at Slammiversary, but he's been on such a roll right now. He's been on such a roll. He's got Rocky Romero in the next week or two, which is going to be great. He had a killer match with Dina, which I know that people weren't expecting, but
that was a great match.
Yeah, they smashed it. And but Sabin and Shelley, that match, just my giddy odd, is so good.
I have a confession. I watched the match, but it was kind of on in the background. I've been working on a little art project, which I'll send you a picture of it. But I was doing that whilst watching Impact, and I feel like I didn't pay that main event the attention it deserves. Right. So I need to go back and watch it again. If you say it's a match of the year candidate, then I need to revisit that one. I'm sorry, guys.
Honestly, obviously it started off slow, but it was going to start off slow. Right? All great matches start off slow, so they can build and build to what it was a fantastic finish. I mean, I've been watching Impact 10 years. Come Out for Glory. That's 10 years of my life, and this match is in my top 10. Because it's, for me, it had everything. I was even though I wanted Sabin to win it because I'm a Sabin guy, because Sabin is and will continue to be my favorite wrestler of all time. But I wasn't disappointed seeing Shelley win it. I wasn't, not as much as I thought it was going to be, because this had such a killer match. You got a standing ovation from the crowd, rightly so. There's a few people still sat down. I had to scream at the TV, "Get up!" And eventually did. Because if I nearly stood up, and I was just sat on the sofa. I was very tired, but I nearly stood up because it. Honestly, I think for behind the scenes for everyone, I just invested in a laptop, which hopefully means you can see me a little bit clearer and less fuzzy. but I think we may have to start doing watch-alongs, and I'm going to want to put that one on the list of watch-alongs if we decide to do them.
Oh, I'm always down to do a watch along. Absolutely.
If we can figure out a technology, I think we'll do one. And yeah, I think we'll kind of have to. But okay, so it's Josh Alexander versus actually at Emergence, night 1 or night 2. I'm assuming it'll be night 2. If they are going to be live, I think I'm assuming night 2 for the Impact World title. And I cannot wait for it. I can't wait to see how they build it. And no matter what happens, this match is going to be a killer. No matter what happens. So, just if you know someone who isn't watching Impact, first of all, get them to watch Sabin vs. Shelley. And then get them to get Emergence. Because it's going to be good. But that's the headlines covered for another week. Before we get into the final 10-10-10, we're going to take it on over to those power rankings. But before we do, I'm going to run through Impact coming up tonight. We have, as mentioned, Kushida taking on Rich Swann. Josh Alexander takes on Mahabali Shera. Eddie Edwards takes on Ace Austin. Laredo Kid and Trey Miguel take on the Swing and Dice Connection as Zicky Dice and Swing. And on BTI, you have Vincent versus Bhupinder.
Can we talk about Vincent for a moment?
Go ahead.
So he obviously popped up on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view purely to drop the 6-man tag titles, it would seem.
Yeah.
He's part of Honor No More, and he was on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Dare I say, dissension among the ranks.
Even more.
I think this could be the catalyst for Vincent and PCO breaking away from Honor No More. And I was chatting to the booker man, Alec Burnett, about this. Perfect way of bringing Gresham in as a villain into Honor No More.
Oh, he did turn heel, didn't he? Yeah. You know, I think Impact will use this as a little seed to drop in there. It should do. And because Honor No More's time is very much coming up. They've only got a few months left in them, I think, and that's probably being generous. But yeah, that's Impact coming up this week. Just quickly before we go to power rankings, pick one match what you must look forward to.
Eddie versus Ace.
Yeah, they can have a killer match. I want to, that's that spot still where Eddie lifts up the bin, the trash can, as Ace is delivering the fold in their match from a few years ago.
Yeah.
Or one of the first matches on Access TV, I think, in a street fight. Might be one of the first matches on Access TV.
Yeah, when Ace was after Alicia.
Yeah, I still want that Ace Austin 369. I just banged your wife T-shirt. I still want to get that. If that was silent for a little bit, they stopped. I don't know why. That's be fun T-shirt to own.
Because it's outrageous.
Probably couldn't wear it in public, but
I just banged your wife. I would never wear that shirt.
I just want to own it. I'll never wear it, but I just want to own it.
Okay.
But
obviously, I'm looking forward to Kushida and Rich Swann as well.
Right.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Kushida and Swann, it's gonna be great. Let us know in the comments how good you thought it was since you were about to go watch it, I assume. Let us know how the show. Let us know your feelings on the show in the comments. tweet us if you want to tweet us. You see our social medias on the bottom. So go and let us know how the show was. But with that, let's take it over to Tatia with the power rankings. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know. Here come the power rankings.
Number 10, Tag Team Champions, Team Ragnarok. Number 9, HBIC, Mia Yim. Number 8, Honor No More. Number 7, World Champion, Jordan Grace. Number 6, Masha Slamovich. Number 5, World Champion, Josh Alexander. Number 4, Tag Team Champions, Bullet Club. Number 3, Perazzo and Green, Vexed. Number 2, X Division Champion, Mike Bailey. Number 1, number 1 contender, Alex Shelley, and the Motor City Machine Guns.
And we are back. There's power rankings. If you want to be part of the rankings committee, drop one of us on the channel a message. Drop us a tweet at BurtMacklin11 if you want to get in touch with Burt. And of course, you can see our social media handles, and we'll add you to the rankings committee. All you've got to do is show up after Impact finishes, after you finish watching Impact. Give us your top 10 wrestlers featured on that week's Impact Wrestling. And that's it. You're done. You can go about your business and do whatever makes you happy. Just helps us out, gets the rankings out there a bit more. And hey, it's just a bit of fun.
Yeah. So
let us know, and we'll get you in the rankings committee, because we could always use some more members. And also, before we head off to the final 10, if you want to be part of the channel, also let us know. If you want to help with editing content, if you want to produce, if you want to be on camera, you want to get your own show, just reach out to one of us. We're always on the lookout for new members. There's some big stuff happening with the channel soon, and we want you guys to be part of it if you want to be a part of it.
And
so
we're not limiting the channel to wrestling.
No,
we're open to anything. We will talk nonsense about anything.
Exactly. Come and just talk some nonsense. Whatever your interests are, whatever you enjoy, let us know. If you want to make a podcast about it, we'll do our absolute best to facilitate that goal of making a podcast there. But now let's take it on over to the final 10. It's coming up the 1st of August. If I get the date right, is
this Sunday.
Yes, is the Ric Flair final match pay-per-view at Starrcast. And on the Impact, and as is Impact, Impact will be represented on this show. We have Josh Alexander defending the Impact World Championships against Jacob Fatu. We have the Motor City Machine Guns at Shelley and Chris Sabin taking on the Wolves of Dave Richards and Eddie Edwards. We also have the Knockouts World title match. Jordan Grace defending the title against Donna Perazzo and Rachel Ellering. And I'm probably missing a few, but there's some more Impact affiliation with the show. And also, if you've been watching Impact for the past 2-3 weeks, you've seen Impact promoting it, showing some clips of Ric Flair's run in TNA. So we want to talk a little bit about that, and it's because this is a big deal. Ric Flair's final match, if you don't know already, he'll be teaming with his son-in-law Andrade against the co-founder of Total Nonstop Action in Double J, Jeff Jarrett. There we have it, and Jay Lethal. So, first of all, are you ordering this pay-per-view, and what do you make of the Impact links? Is it I don't know. Do you think is this Flair or is this Conrad?
I will be ordering the show. I want to see Ric Flair's last match, the show, and the match. I think it's a great card, absolutely jam-packed. I mean, I don't know how they're going to fit all of this in. And I don't know if you've been watching the documentary. I think it's called The Last Match. They've done 3 episodes, all about 20 minutes long, so it's about an hour's watch. It's fun stuff. The angle they shot in the car park was a little bit cheesy, but it was fun. But it got me hyped. You know, I'm looking forward to watching the match. And yeah, like you said, Impact is all over this card. You know, Josh is defending the world title against MLW's Jacob Fatu, which is a dream match. You know, this is going to be fantastic. You've got Motor City Machine Guns versus the Wolves. Apparently, according to Conrad, it's happened once on an indie show back in the day, but this will be the first time on a big stage. The Motor City Machine Guns versus the Wolves, which is very exciting. You've got Jordan Grace defending the Knockouts title against Deonna Purrazzo, one of the best in the world, as well as former Knockout Rachel Ellering. So you know that'll be a good one. You've got the Jordan Grace, Rachel Ellering, the former tag team champions.
Yes.
There's a connection there. And it was Deonna that beat Jordan for the title originally. So, yeah, looking forward to that one massively. And then you've got Laredo Kid on the show. The Briscoes are on the show, having, just finished up with Impact. So, yeah, Impact is massively represented, which is awesome. I don't think it's a Ric Flair call. I think it's a Conrad Thompson, Jeff Jarrett call.
Yeah.
I know you've got AEW guys on there. You've got AAA guys on there. Ring of Honor, New Japan. But Impact is the company that's being featured the most.
Yeah,
and
it's on the line.
Yeah, exactly. And it's an Impact Wrestling dream match for the Motor City Machine Guns and the Wolves. It's being billed as an Impact Wrestling dream match.
Yeah.
You've got a New Japan showcase. You've got a AAA showcase, and you've got AEW wrestler Andrade El Idolo in the main event, and Ring of Honor wrestler Jay Lethal in the main event. But they're not being billed as from AEW or from Ring of Honor.
No.
Whereas Impact, their brand is all over this show. And I know Tom Hannafin and Scott D'Amore are going to be doing commentary on some of the matches. So yeah, it's awesome exposure for Impact Wrestling. But yeah, I don't think it's a Ric Flair. I don't think Ric Flair said, "Yeah, I want Impact Wrestling as part of my last match show." I think it's very much a Conrad bit of branding.
Yeah, I've got to agree on that one. Even though Flair had what we thought was his last match in Impact, official last match at the time. But yeah, I think this is definitely something to do with Conrad, and am I right in saying that Starcast last match is sponsoring these clips Impact is showing from the Impact Plus archives?
That is correct. Yeah.
So that's cool. I believe Tennille's part of the show in some form. I saw her advertised for Starcast at least. And I don't know, it's personally I'm not as fussed about Ric Flair's last match, but that's probably more of a generational thing. I've to like the first episode of Raw I ever watched, Ric Flair was the first person I saw. It was just after the first ever Elimination Chamber, and Ric Flair was, believe he was talking to Bischoff in the parking lot. Believe so. But so it's that. But I've never gone out of my way to watch a Ric Flair match. Although his match against Jericho at SummerSlam 2002, I enjoyed that. That's why SummerSlam 2002 was probably the best SummerSlam there's ever been.
Up there, definitely.
So I'm not as invested, but I might order it just to see these matches, these Impact matches. I think that's worth 20 quid alone, and I will more likely go for it. But it's cool. You've got all these companies being represented. Big Damo is being listed as representing Progress, which is a cool thing. I believe Ricochet Pages as well for the Bunkhouse Brawl, but I haven't gone too deep into it. But yeah, it seems like a fun one. I'll probably definitely order it. Definitely. And just I believe it's a midnight starter, so it's not too bad. It could take a while though. I'm reckoning maybe 4 to 5 o'clock finish, which I'm used to it by now. It's fine. But yeah, I think it should be a fun one, and I'm all for more Impact representation on shows because, like it or not, Impact has been around for 20 years, and the Impact World title is one of the most prestigious titles in wrestling. You look at the lineage, even from, if you saw my graphic, even from 2012 onwards. Hold on. You look at that. Now, that's a good lineage, even from there. And you've got, even before that, you can go. This goes on. It's so for this to be part of the show is a big deal. It's going to have lots of eyes on it because of the main event, and it's probably got me in as well. But that's more to do with the Impact side of stuff than it is to do with what it's about. But I'll take it. It's wrestling. More wrestling I can watch, the better. Just love wrestling. So, but I guess with that, we should call that a podcast. Finishing a little bit early, but it means you can get ready for Impact a little bit earlier. So you know what to do by now. You can do the whole thing. You can follow us here, there, everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, and wherever else you podcast. If you can go check out every episode of TBN Chats. There's been from Lizzie Evo to Ricky Knight Jr. to PJ Knight to Rio to whoever else. So many incredible guests. So lucky to have them on. More to come. Anyone you want to see, let us know. We'll add them to already quite a long list, but we want them on if you want them on and if they want to come on. It's open invite to everyone in wrestling, essentially. More wrestling you can talk about, the better. Of course, go check out Jeff every Sunday live on Twitch, and of course, go check out the Impact Zone with Max and Jeff. Power Rankings with the Tia and Bert. You can go check out the previous episodes of LOL Trainer with Johnny, Lucha, and Jeff. More to come. There you go. You can do the whole thing. Nixon, is there anything anywhere you're heading wrestling wise, or anything you wanna touch on before we head off?
No, just thank you to Frank Fiat for the entrance music. We're going to get him on the podcast soon to promote Pro Wrestling East coming up on August 27th, which I will be wrestling Gene Money on that show, which I'm very excited for. Yeah, and August 13th, I'm wrestling in Great Yarmouth for DOA. It's Peter Nixon's Beach Ball Mania 4, and that will be on Fight TV the following Thursday. So I'll talk about that next week and the following week.
Yeah, there you have it. This has been a podcast. You have watched a podcast or listened to a podcast, depends on whether you're a listener or a viewer. We thank you either way. If you subscribe, it helps us a lot. 2 seconds, split second, and it helps us massively. Do the whole thing, follow us in everywhere. I've been the MIC. It's been Nixon, and I'll continue to be Nixon. Until next time, goodbye, my friends.